Wait. 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 You did well, Yari Branch. Son, your massacre branch with honor. Wait. Alright, so anyway, stars of the day, of course, the Tree Reaper. Love this freaking chainsaw. Might have hit a nail with it. That's how it's burnt. I had to cut up a dock. And I got to drop a crap load of branches. I forgot my freaking harness though. But I got to drop a whole bunch of dead branches with this thing. So I'm on the second use. So out of $650 with just 2 uses so far, I've done about $150 worth of work with it. two uses, guys. 2 uses. But I didn't use this little guy today, but I used him the other day. That's the Tree Piranha. He's awesome. He's awesome. I got to use him there. A lot of nails and that. I'd rather wreck this chain than my good chain. But we're getting near the end of the season, so that means I'm going to. Wow, somebody spilled all kinds of chainsaw oil on my beautiful workbench. It was probably me. I'm not saying it was me. I'm saying good likely, considering I'm the only one that comes down here. Could have been a cat. No, it was probably that freaking squirrel. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. But anyway, yeah, no, I didn't work long today. I actually got 3.5 hours, and I was trying to kind of get my clients. I got to bring this. We had to come back and get this big bad boy here. This thing's the best. This is the best. I'm like, if you ever have to buy, I told him if he ever has to buy, that'd make a really cool, the blue sky in the background and the Tree Reaper. We'll see if it. I'll put them on the ground for now. Just wait. But that song is so awesome. I love the sound of it. The magnesium piston is so awesome. But the newer one has an aluminum piston, not a magnesium piston. It's lighter and it's got more power. How? But they're not out here. I was in the still shop and I asked about them a couple of months ago. I said, what about the 400.1? They're like, what's the 400.1? There's only the 400. So they're not out in Canada yet. I showed my client. I said, hey, I got my motorcycle in there. He's like, what? How'd you get that in there? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I must go get the Yari, son. This thing is pretty awesome. It's the most I've used it so far. For a client, anyway. I've dropped a few other branches for a client. But like it's just like, oh, I just want these 2 branches down. No, you want more than 2 branches down. You always want more than 2 branches down. No, I really no. You need like 80 branches down. Probably what I cut today. I didn't get it all cleaned up, but the area that I'm doing, what I do is I cut a bit. Just a note to self, I just got this sitting in there. I take it apart after. It's easier to carry it as one whole unit. It is heavy. It is like 15 pounds or something like that. Not really heavy, but awkward. And I got some free cinder blocks today too. I'm gonna turn on my fan down here. I never look different with that all cleaned out, eh? Look at that. I kept the onions. I'll plant them next year. My brother's firefighter suit. I got to talk to my buddy Paul. Okay, Paul, how do you clean a firefighter suit? Because they must have a way to do it. I mean, that's they get those things pretty darn dirty. So, yeah. So that I'll leave. I just don't feel like dealing with Mr. Squirrel today. Well, we found Meow Meow, the little kitty cat that comes down here. She's up at my place, my dad's place now. She followed my nephew and my brother and my sister-in-law up there. She was there this morning. Missy chased her up a damn tree. My brother had to go up the tree, the big, that big maple tree in my backyard. Yeah, he had to go climb that thing at like 10 to 8 in the morning just before he's got to go to work to get Meow Meow down out of the damn tree because my 16-year-old cat Missy started going bitch mode and chased her up the tree. And I'm like, I saw the ladder where they left this morning. I was like, so there was a cat in the tree this morning. I could hear my dad yelling at Missy there. He's like, Missy, stop that. It was a meow meow. Just like she said, meow meow. Like that's why they call her meow meow. She never stops. Uh, so we got her kicking around, I guess. Dum Dum was on the veranda this morning. He didn't bark at me, but I guess he didn't see me. Came down here yesterday and he was out. He didn't bark at me, so he's so annoying. But yeah, so meow meow. She kind of come up to you. Like my brother could pet her in that because she's used to that, but she was like trying to test me out to see if I was pet, if I could pet her or not. She'd run up behind my bees, meow meow meow, and she just doesn't stop. That's all she does. You hear in the bush. I don't know how she catches anything. It's like you're the loudest cat I've ever. You just meow 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 meow. Maybe she has like cat Tourette's or something. I have no idea. And anyway, so she was there this morning. Client came pick me up. We did the dock. So that went well. At least it was like last year was blowing like 100 miles an hour. But we got it done last year. This year there was like no wind, so it was a lot easier. But that dock's getting pretty rough. And there was a dock that had blown in, or part of a dock that blown in, and I had to cut it up because it had been there for a couple of weeks. I never saw it the last time I was there, but I wasn't really looking down there. But when I cut, I didn't see it, so it must have just been like within a week or two. So, and anyway, I cut it up with the chainsaw. And after that, I'm like, I think it's time I drop that big branch that's about to drop on your car coming into the driveway. This branch probably the length of in here, right across the driveway, big pine tree. I'm like, okay, I've been talking about it, knocking that thing down for about 2 years now. So I did that for them today. And then I just went around like on the side of the hill at the back of the house that overlooks the lake, just getting just the dead stuff. No fresh branches, because Linda told me not to cut fresh branches this time of year. It shocks the what you call it? The tree. So I just cut but the dead stuff. She said you can cut it any time of the year. So I just got the stuff that's in within the 10-foot range of the pole. Cleaning around a couple of trees. You look and it's just wow. Like the view is just wow. You know what I mean? And it doesn't harm the trees, so and it keeps clean. However, I'm gonna have a lot of branches to clean up at some point when I go through there with the brush cutter. That's the thing. Cut a few with the polearm chainsaw. The way to do it is cut a few, clean it up, cut a few, clean it. Because if you just go and cut everything, you can cut way faster than you can clean up. I'll just say that. But I forgot my harness today. It wasn't too bad without it, but it does take a lot of the weight off you if you have the harness. Let it hold the heavy stuff. Just when you're carrying it around, right? So. So the harness I didn't have today, but that's good. I mean, I like it does. It's just like a big chunk of money that I think I got like what six. I think it was $650 that I paid all in Canadian with for that tax and all for the polearm chainsaw, and that's the second time I used it for a client, which I had to divide today half for. So basically, I made $90 for my chainsaw, $90 for the polearm saw. Otherwise, it would be $180 on the. If I just used that polearm saw today, it would have been $180 day. I mean, I did other things too, like docks, but I credit the money to the tool used of the day. So I'm very happy about that. Client's happy about that. I'm trying to get all my other clients set up so that keep myself going through October enough because I want to get as much money before the winter as possible, because the I have the hydro in my name now, but the problem is Canada Post is on strike, so we don't know how long they're going to be on strike. So I don't know if they're going to issue me a hydro bill in time. And I need to register online as well, because I could do stuff online that way, and they can monitor how much I'm using, whatever. And my take is always the hydro is going to be whatever they want it to be. I mean, it's like I just don't want to make sure I can pay it, right? So I can pay it online through the account. Problem is with a broken keyboard, the problem you have is when you go to sign up, you can't copy and paste your email in there. And one of the things you have to actually type it out, and because of that, it's like I can't use the T and I can't use the Y, and I need the T and the Y for my email. And I'm like, no, this is not good. So I'll have to figure that one out. But either way, power's on, and at least I think it's still on. Yeah, it's on. I just looked in the fridge. So, but yeah, so it was a good day, 3.5 hour day, not a long day, but caught up on some money. And hopefully Thursday. What are we today? No, we're Friday. Duh. Next Thursday. Yeah. So hopefully next Thursday I get caught up on some more money, and next Friday, um, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to see. I might have to do some juggling around with some clients because there's one client he's gonna want me for the Friday so he can come pick me up with my chainsaw and stuff. Like everybody's trying to keep me going as long as I can. Like it is what it is, right? Once the snow flies, it's kind of like we did our best for you. See you next year. But like I'm like, well, there's other things. Okay, the grass is kind of done. Did you have anything else in mind? There've been trees that have been giving you the rough eyeball. Making life hard for you. Let me know. I've got a few more trees there that dead birch to fall. They're not too bad. I don't know how I missed them before. I thought like where like I'm like looking at them today as I'm like, where did these two come from? How did I miss those? So I'm gonna follow those. I fell those other big widowmakers there during the winter. So it's just like anything dead and standing that's could hurt somebody. Because eventually, what's going to happen is I know what's going to happen. It's like when you clear everything at eye level and there's no branches for people to run into and stuff like that, and they can see clear. It's like, oh, I'm going to put a little trail through there and down to the lake, and I'll put a little table, a coffee table or something on the way, and maybe some chairs, and so people will be down there, and you just don't want stuff falling on them. So, and then there was a couple of spots where down by the docks where the branches were coming down, hitting the top of the truck. So I was like, okay. I tried my client's chainsaws today. There, it was that little MS 250 and that other, is it a pool or whatever it is, whatever that other one. One I got going, but it wouldn't stay running. I said, let's come back and get my sauce. I didn't think I needed them today, but that's why you bring them. You bring them. You have them, not need them, not have them. And because I forgot about the cutting up the dock. The dock didn't take long to cut up, but it's like it's sitting there, broom, broom, broom. It's a rotten dock, so it's like, broom. As long as you don't hit any nails, you're good. As long as you don't hit any nails. But a good day. It's almost 2 o'clock now. I was going to swap out my brush cutter blade. I do believe I have tomorrow off, but I'll have to call my buddy Paul tonight to see if we're cutting grass tomorrow, because tomorrow's Saturday, but I could be cutting grass, and this, I doubt it, but you never know. And that maybe what he might say is, well, it's just enough for one guy. I'm not going to be cutting the whole thing, so I'm not going to need you, right? So it's hard to say. This time of year is kind of touch and go. It's not, no, it just is what it is, right? It's like, okay, once you start getting frost and stuff like that, it's kind of like, well, yeah, the grass isn't really going to be growing anymore. Might get a warm spell and it might grow a little bit in one patch or whatever, but it doesn't typically grow after the frost. So it's like, okay, fair enough. We'll just hold off till next year. But we still have to do the annuals if it hopefully it lands on a day where him and I can do it. If not, him and Jesse will have to do it, and I'll miss out on that. But I don't know when she's going to get the bin to empty out that old house. That old house, the client with all that used to have all those cats there. Anyway, she was going to get the bin at the end of last month, but what ended up happening was a relative that she hadn't seen in 25 years was coming to town. So, yeah, priorities, right? So I said, okay, well, just let me know like a week or so ahead so I can, schedule you in there and whatever. So hopefully I'll have that this month as well. If I can get as much full time work this month, November, if it skips a bit, not so bad. But if I can keep enough work just at least to maintain the bills, I'd be happy with that. But remember, I got a lot more bills now. I still haven't told you guys what I'm paying down here. You're going to hate me when I do. Um, but it's still more. Like, I mean, again, I'm not a wealthy man, so it's like, it's not a lot, but for a guy like me, it's a lot. Anything's a lot. Like yesterday, I spent $150 on basically, blades and tools and stuff like that for work. But mind you, if I would have used my brush cutter today, it would have earned back the blade and the files and the, you know what I mean? Like when I could have, if I was just using that today, it would have paid for about half of it. So far this year I spent, okay, so $650 roughly for the pole arm chainsaw. Yeah, the Brad Samurai Yari. Son. Yari son. You'll say focus and cut branch. Yeah. That thing works so slick. I do got to get some files for it. And I want to get a spare chain for it and a spare bar for it. Just cause. And at some point, if it earns enough money, I'll probably buy a second adapter, like a second, mechanism, just so if I ever get it stuck, I could unhook it, put in the other one, cut the other one out. But yeah, no, it's a dandy machine. They get the other one. The other one was how much was it? It was a lot of money. Like the one that goes up 27 feet. That if I made the money with it, like if I was pruning trees professionally, it would be worth it. But like this isn't going to take 10 uses to pay for itself. You know what I mean? Like it's, I've earned about 150 with it so far. Maybe a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure it was 150 minimum out of $650. So, doesn't take much. The brush cutter, which was $500, I've earned about between $350 and $420 so far with it, and I'm sure I'm going to get a couple of more clients that are it's going to get used probably every week between now and the end of the season. And then plus just what it's doing for me. So that right there would be what $1150 in those tools, and then $550 in all the other tools, and everything has pretty much earned its keep except for the brush cutter and the pole arm saw. Just because my vehicle broke down just as I got the pole arm saw, and I got the brush cutter after. But it's like it doesn't matter because it's like, well, I'm not going to buy because I can't tow it around. People are coming and grab me, and they're like, oh, bring that with you, bring that with you, bring that with you. It's funny when I load up everybody's vehicles with full of tools. Like, holy jeez, and you carried this around? I said, and yeah, like a rolling toolbox. But they don't mind. I mean, I know I can't go on like this forever. But the vehicle is going to show up whenever it shows up. I'm like, if you rush buying a vehicle, you're going to be buying a vehicle again next year. It's like, it's like, oh, just take the cheapest thing. That's what I always do. And, it's just a real pain in the ass to find vehicles. It's not even really the cost as much. Like I've got, a good chunk of money just for that. Every week that goes by, like today, I'm going to take $20 and put it towards the car fund. Doesn't sound like much, but you do that every day, 5 days a week. You know what I mean? You get about $100 a week towards a vehicle. Over a couple of months, that adds up. You know what I mean? And even if you buy the vehicle, you still keep the vehicle fund going, because when that one, either you can repair your vehicle, you have the money to do it, or you can I know I don't have a good track record for repairing vehicles, but like how much money do you sink into a $500 vehicle? You know what I mean? Like it's that's a time bomb on $500 and less. Most of it, like like I did the brakes on the Silver Pellet, and I did the tires on the Silver Pellet, and that was how much? The brakes was 350. Okay, and the tires were 476. Okay, now mind you, that vehicle owed me nothing by the time I did that. And did I do an oil change in the Silver Pellet, or did I ever get a chance to? I don't think I did. Or did I? I don't remember if I did an oil change or not. I don't think I did. I don't think I just don't think. But I was topping up oil all the time in it, so it counts. But for example, the Road Reaper, the Dodge Avenger, I didn't put a cent into that thing. I mean, well, no, I spent $80 for the leads and stuff like that, and I can use them for other things. I can't tell you what I'm going to be using for, but there's other things I could use them for, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool reg experiment stuff, which will entertain some of my commenters who are like, oh, it's going to be an interesting winter when Reg gets cabin fever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will be. It will be. You know who you are. I love calling out my subscribers. You guys are funny. um, if you haven't read any of the Reg Chronicles or that Andy Jackson posts, there's really he rocks me all the time. Reg the Mouse Slayer, blah blah blah, and there's like this big like adventure story. I'm like, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? This is great. I love them. They don't stop. They're funny as hell. It's just yeah, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Despite what everybody else says about you, you know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get that. That's what we say around here. Oh, you're a great guy, despite what everybody else says. Who's saying that? Who's saying that about me? Yeah. So eventually, I'll have internet down here too, but that takes money. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So it was a good day for getting temperature wise. It was a great day for doing the docks. Like I don't have to get in the water, but I did have to pull up two cinder blocks on a really thin line, and on the dock, it was like I got it. I could get it to the edge of the dock, but I couldn't quite reach around and hold it with one hand. So I got my client to hold it. I said, just don't let it pull you in, and then I could reach around and pull them up onto the docks or the two bricks. That's like 100 pounds of bricks. These are like old bricks. Like they're really, I don't know what a cinder block normally weighs, but what are they, 40 pounds each normally? But these are the old ones. I don't know, something about the old ones. They must have put lead in them or something. I don't know. Like, holy shit. But I guess cinder blocks would get saturated with water too, being in the water. So yeah, it's like, oh, geez, that like I know what 100 pounds feels like, and it felt like 100 pounds with the two of them. I was like, oh, you just try to pull that up by one arm without twisting your freaking hands and everything like that. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But I got to play with my chainsaw. Love that. And then got to play with the pole arm chain. That thing is so slick. It works so good. The biggest branch today was maybe about that big, maybe a little bit bigger, give or take. Probably about 20 feet long, 30 feet long, whatever it was, whatever the driveway is. So I got that one. And then I noticed one of the branches from the pine tree. This is going to be crazy. I got to go up on the roof and I got to nip it. But here's the thing. The branch grew into the freaking power stack. Yeah, that one's going to be nice and dangerous. So what I'm going to do is zip it. I'm going to leave the branch in the power. I ain't touching that at all. If it falls down by itself, great. If it burns, whatever, I ain't touching it. You know what I mean? I don't want to die. You know what I mean? But I got to cut it. But like the branch literally grew and hit the stack, and it grew down into the wires of the stack. Like it's like I pointed it out to my. I said that because I was like looking at the tree. I said I'm not going to cut any of the fresh stuff, but these two other branches, yeah, I'll get up on the roof and I'll cut them. And I say, because it's going to grow into your, is it growing into the stack? The power stack coming into that. I was like, I don't think they were aware of that. It's like, because you can't quite see it from this side of the house or the front, but you can see it from the back, and it's like from one angle. It's like, oh shit. But it didn't have time to get it today. And their dishwasher's still screwed up. I remember I looked at it before and I couldn't figure out what was. I don't do plumbing and I don't do electrical. Not that I can't. It's just, it's one of those things that plumbing seems easy until you get the right airlock somewhere where you don't know how to deal with it, and that could be really disastrously messy. That I know a guy who'll do that for me for half the price of a real plumber. Yeah, and then next thing you know, the fucking ceiling's got. This happened to one of my friends. She's sort of a client, sort of friend from time to time. Well, she's been a friend for years, but she's sort of a client from time to time. And she says, yeah, when they hooked up the thing and it backed up and it blew up and it hit the ceiling, and she's like, oh my God. So she had to actually get a plumber. And it's like, spend all that money. Well, it's the spend $100 to save 10. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Just spend the money, get it done right. Yes, it's a pain in the ass, but it's a peace of mind. That's why people get me to do stuff. If I tell them I can't fall a tree safely, they trust me. If I say I can do it, they trust me. You know what I mean? Because I don't lie to people. Like, it's just, number one, I don't have that kind of energy to. I don't know how people could lie on a chronic basis. Just as like, but how do you track it all? Like, how do you remember what you said to somebody that wasn't true? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, just tell them the truth, and then you never have to lie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you sleep well at night. You never have to hold in, and never try to tell people you can do something you can't deliver. I hate telling people no, but I'm not one of those guys. I'd rather tell people no honestly, or say, look, it's going to be a long wait because I got all these other people that whatever, that are priority. If you're willing to wait, sure. If not, I understand. I'm not one of those guys that try to hog all the business. I know so many guys like that, and they screw their reputation. And again, that's your number, above your skill level, above your tardiness, above all that. Your reputation is everything as a self-employed person or business owner or whatever. Your reputation. There's nothing more important than that. Everything else is a skill you can acquire, whatever tools you can buy over time, whatever that stuff, extra abilities that you can do stuff, extra capabilities, whatever. That's all stuff you can get over time. But your reputation, you destroy that, it's almost impossible to redeem yourself with a bad reputation. So, but anyway, that's the kind of day I have. My poor plants were stuck inside all day. I just didn't have enough time to, because my client, it was the first time he's been here. So he didn't know, like, he would, like, I could try to describe to people, okay, it's right at the end of the bridge and you turn right there, and I could do that, but the problem is that when you do that, it's like, if they miss it, they end up way up the road up there, and they're like, where the hell is it? Okay, meet me up at the normal place that I know. So I said, well, just pick me up at the normal place, and then we'll drive down here. So now he knows where this one is. I'll say, for now on, just meet me down here, because all my tools and stuff are going to be down here anyway, so. So I don't think I can get much work done in here. I started in the basement the other day. Didn't get too much done down there, but I got lots done yesterday. I mean, I got the motorbike down here yesterday. I was so happy with that. I think what I'm going to do is just get cleaned up, play my guitars and maybe my drums, start setting up for my recording. I don't think I'll... Yeah, no, I'm not going to record today, but what I might do is... I've been really jonesing on that freaking 8-string guitar there. But I don't want to play it too much because the strings are fairly fresh on it, and I want to keep that for the recordings. Same thing with the 7-string. I got all these guitars that have been restrung. You guys saw a couple of months ago when I restrung almost all my guitar. I think I got 2 left to restring. Or 3. I got 3 guitars left to restring. How many? Yeah. But I don't want to restrain them until I'm ready to. Like, I need a guitar that I can practice on. So I got the Charvel. I got to bring the Charvel down here maybe tomorrow if I'm not working. Because I have not heard it through the Mesa Boogie. That's one thing I love being down here is being able to hear that Mesa Boogie almost on a daily basis. Playing through an amp on a daily basis is just it's nice, and you're not disturbing anybody. I don't play it. I play it loud, but not like enough to draw my. I'm sure they hear it over there a little bit, but not. I don't play for hours on end. It's just enough to, you know, keep the chops up and all that. But I'm gonna have to reprogram my Zoom pedal, which is over there on the ground, and get my Dimebag Darrell pedal out because I think for the 8 string, I'm gonna do something a little bit different because I'm getting ready. To the subscriber that I think it was saying on BitChute, like for the digital stuff, to help me out with that stuff. I have the problem you have with the digital is there's like option paralysis because there's just so many options. But how do I put this? The sound I'm going for would be closely described as metalcore. Okay, so if you think Loner Shore, Periphery, like modern metal, right? Detuned guitars or downtuned guitars, heavy, knocking the building off the foundation. Very modern sound. Don't think like Iron Maiden or even thrash metal per se, because metalcore and thrash metal, they're not really the same, right? But the thing is my forte is thrash metal. That's the era I come from. But I want to kind of have an amalgamation of like thrash metal meets metalcore. The thing with the metalcore is, and I know that, like, I don't go too crazy with the metal genres because at some point like okay, there's like more metal genres than there are like pebbles on a beach. You know what I mean? Like every song is a different genre. I just go with the main ones. Metalcore, deathcore, death metal, thrash metal, classic metal. Hardcore metal, speed metal, stuff like that. So those are, and there's a few more that you can mention, but those are like going to cover pretty much everything, right? It's just metalcore. There's a sound to it, and that seems to be the way most modern metal bands are going is metalcore. The problem is like any. It doesn't matter what genre it is. When you hear people, oh, well, all the heavy metal stuff sounds the same. Yeah, but all the country stuff sounds the same. All the blues stuff sounds the same. If you're in the genre, you're in the genre. You know what I mean? There's not a big difference between this band and that band, kind of tones and sounds wise. Where you get the differences is in the songwriting and the arrangements. That's where like again, like Angkor, like they're like EDM metalcore. Like it's so good. It's so good the way they do it. Their new song, their Endless Dream, is just absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't checked it out, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. But if you haven't checked out their last stuff, the Shogunai stuff, chapters 1 to 7, start there and then just watch them in a row and follow the story. And then once you've watched all the videos, go look at Angkor live. I would love to see this band. They are so bloody good. It does, even like the cell phone recordings are phenomenal, especially Oblivion. Like, I mean, that one, stereo. Like when you watch the video, it's like it's a good song, but the way it comes out live, it's like wow, that song is so kick ass. And then Dark Beat, that first song that they of the series, that song is insane. It is so insane. There's so many different things happen. Like there's like 10 different types of genres just in that song. The band is amazing, and I would like to be able to do something like that. Like for metal, I think having the male and female vocals is really really important. But finding a female metal vocalist in my area is kind of like, I'm sure they exist. It's just like, where are they? Something really cool. Some friends of mine, the guitar player went to school with my brother, And anyway, him and his wife have a band. You might have seen them on this channel a couple of years back. My cousin was in the band, and it was called Beyond Driven. Yeah, a little bit of a Pantera reference there. And that band kind of now, after quite a few years, is kind of come almost a decade, has now kind of come to a close. And they're now just him and her doing a new thing called Feral Union. They have a website or a YouTube page. I don't mind giving a shout out. They got one song on it. She did a tribute to her dad. God rest him, I guess. That's my understanding, is that's what it was about. So, but they're just getting going, and I saw Jeremy shredding the other night there on his. He's got one of those really cool Kelly. The first time I seen him playing guitar was actually on this front porch. Yeah, that's right. He had an orange Telecaster. It was a Squire, and I remember him and I were just jamming on the front porch. Oh my God, that's so long ago. That's probably about 10 years ago. It was probably soon after my brother moved in here, and he had like a little shindig, and he had some friends over, and Jeremy was here. Anyway, he's the guy that's been buying the Dean. I don't know where the hell he's getting the Dean guitars. I asked him, and he said, "Oh no, I know a guy who's local. He orders them up for me because he's got some really cool Deans." But he had a Jackson Kelly. Now he's got another Jackson Kelly, an upper end one. He got the Brandon Ellis one, in the Krekel Greenburst with a single pickup, and he was shredding on. I'm like, that is a really cool guitar. It sounds great. But anyway, he was shredding the other night and stuff like that, and they are going to be playing. Him and her are going to be playing live, and Aaron and him, and they're going to be opening up for Alex Skolnick. You know, the Old Testament guitar player. It's called the Alex Skolnick Trio. I didn't know that Alex Skolnick had his. A lot of these guys do have these side bands and stuff like that. So that, how did they land that gig? That is so cool. I don't know if they're getting paid or not, but it's still, it's like, that's Alex Skolnick. That guy was a really cool guitar player back in the day for the band Testament. They were like, you had like Slayer, and you had Testament and Sepultura, and then you had like Metallica and Anthrax and Megadeth, right? So these were like kind of like the slightly less popular, but like over the years, Testament is, they've gained a pretty big fan base for sure. I'm sure those guys will never be never be starving. You never know. You assume these guys, can make a living at it, but you never know. Some of these bands don't get to make a livings at it. They're popular, but they're not making money. Kind of like Vinnie Vincent kind of thing. You know what I mean? He's still around, still playing, but he's he's doing about as well as I am with the music stuff. Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so that's really cool. And without the vehicle, I can't really, and without a band, I would love to have a metalcore sounding band, but something that can really kind of ride the edge of mainstream, kind of like what Angkor does, where they don't just give you Lorna Shore, phenomenal band, metalcore band, but it's death growl vocals, right, all the time, and they do it better than I think anybody else does it. But it's kind of the fans are hardcore. But it's not okay, you can play that anywhere. There's not a lot of places that would let you play that kind of extreme metal. And that is pretty extreme. But they are very cool, the way they compose songs and stuff like that. A lot of breakdowns. And the problem is every modern metal band is trying to sound like Lorna Shore now. And the problem with that is that, you get all these clone bands. You get a few of them that'll be really good. But the same thing happened with Metallica. There was Metallica, and then all these other thrash metal bands that came along, and eventually some of them stuck, but how many of them don't, right? And that's always the case with any sort of band. So, kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I figured, well, wrap up the day. There you go. And yeah, but recording commences hopefully this weekend. So anyway, I'm gonna start hooking up some microphones and get some stuff going. See what happens.